Hello friends and welcome. Today I'm showing you the Rose Garden Playset, which is a little dollhouse garden for our paper dolls. And I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to cut and assemble it, as well as how to kind of customize it. So I'm really excited to show you. So here's our instruction sheets. They're all illustrated with very clear instructions. I spent a lot of time making sure they were clear and helpful and as useful as possible. And that front page has a little lore as well. Here are the pages. You've got the hedges and flowers, the archway, the background, the sides, some stepping stones and more hedges, our grass, and those are all of the pages. So first we're just going to cut out all of these main pieces, which is going to include the background. So I'm just trimming the edges. I don't want these videos to be super long, so I've tried to zoom through most of the tedious stuff so you can kind of get the gist. But please take your time with these. You know, it's meant to be fun and a little crafting experience as well as a, paper doll product in the end. So I want to make sure you guys enjoy the process. So just cutting out those side pieces. Our ground pieces here. And this is important, just make sure that you get that notch right to the very corner, just so everything lays correctly. And it is important for these to cut them out carefully, make sure your edges are as straight as possible and you're as close to the cut line as possible as well, just because the way that we assemble them will matter as far as how nice the final product looks. So next, we're going to take these pieces that have garden beds, and we're going to cut along those little lines so that you can actually plant flowers in them. Really important to me that all of these pieces have customizability and interactability. So here I'm just taking a craft knife and going along that dotted edge, making sure to not go all the way through to the next one. We want a little space of paper in between those two. And you can use scissors for this if you have to. It's just going to be a little difficult, especially if you have rounded scissors. If you do, I would recommend folding it in the middle of that cut, and then you can kind of snip through that fold to get to your cut line. And this is one of the reasons why we highly recommend adult help with these. Just for smaller hands, I want to make sure that we're being careful and safe, and we're also getting the final product that we want to play with in the end. A lot of our, really all of our regular paper dolls, I think, are relatively easy for older children to manage by themselves, but for these, I do recommend adult help. So here you can see that's how the little garden beds are going to work later, and I'll show you in the end of the video. So next we're going to pre-fold all of the folding tabs. I'll show you what those look like. So here you can see our tabs. They're labeled with a letter, and we're just going to score the edge of those with a couple different methods that I'll show you to make them fold easier. If you don't score them, it's going to be very difficult to get a clean edge. So here I'm just using a ruler and a bone folder. Bone folders I definitely recommend if you're a big paper crafter. They're just make everything super easy, but they're by no means necessary. And I'm just lining my ruler up with that line and then going across the line with my bone folder. Now I'm just going to fold it both ways and crease it really nicely so we have a good crisp edge. Gorgeous. Now, the next method we can use is a pencil. So you can use a pencil with a ruler or just simply take the pencil and trace down the edge. So here I'm going to show you, we're just tracing down on that fold line. Super simple way to do this. Just make sure that your pencil is dull. If it's too sharp, you're going to risk tearing the paper, and you really just need to make a soft imprint into the paper so that it folds more easily. There you can see it's pretty dull. And same as before, just folding backwards and forwards and then creasing. Gorgeous. And now we have our nice folds. Moving on, I'm just going to do the same thing very quickly with the ground pieces. Zoom through these. Lining, creasing, folding. Gorgeous. Next, we're going to move on to putting the two ground pieces together. So as you can see in the diagram, we're going to line edge A to edge A. You can see the little tiny A there. I didn't want it to be too clear or else it would risk showing in the final product. But as you can see, I'm just turning them upside down with the white side up, lining them neatly. Very nice. And we want it to be as edge to edge as possible with no overlap on the paper so that it lays flat. Now I'm just going to anchor it with two small pieces of tape at the top and bottom, just so that it doesn't move when I use this bigger piece of tape here to really secure the whole edge. And I'm just lining that all the way through and then smoothing it down and making sure that we cover the full length of that seam. And now you have your whole ground piece. Next, we're going to attach edge B to edge B. So that's going to be your left side piece. You can see the B there. And it's pretty simple. We're just going to apply glue to tab B right here. And then slot side B right on top. Smooth it down. Make sure it's edge to edge. Gorgeous. And then just like that, we're going to attach sides C to tabs C. And that's going to be the whole background piece. So same thing, attach the glue to tabs C right here. Lay down our background piece. Smooth it out, make sure it's nice and even. And one thing that'll help you get it in the right spot is there's a tiny white notch that should align with the middle seam of the ground. Wonderful. And next we're going to do tabs D to side D. And that's that right hand corner. Gluing the tab. Pressing it down. And these do require just a little bit of desk space, just so you make sure not to crease anything that where you don't want to. Now we're going to do the side tabs. Now these are going to feel a little more awkward, but just trust the process. We're going to attach side E there to tab E, add the glue, and fold. This is what's going to make it dimensional. This is what's going to make it 3D. So here I'm folding it and pressing it. And you may have to hold this for a little while if your glue doesn't dry and set very quickly. I use tacky glue, but if you're using like a regular school glue, you might need to hold that for a little while just so that it stays put. And I do recommend tacky glue. It comes in that gold bottle with the purple lid. That just works really well for me because it has a quick hold. And I'm just smoothing that, and then I'm going to finesse those edges. Make sure that my corner is nice and folded so everything lays nicely. Everything's glued down. And there you can see it stands up. We've got our little set, basically. And that is the start of our gorgeous playset. So hooray! Good job. And now I'm just going to pull back the camera so we can see it. And we're going to start working on all of our other accessories. So first, we're going to start with the garden gate. And I promise all of these pieces are pretty simple to put together. So again, just zooming through the cutting. I'm going to skip a little bit so that it's fast. Don't want to keep you guys for too long. And I'm just tracing these fold lines in whatever method you want to use. Creasing and folding them. Creasing and folding. And there we have a cute little garden gate that stands up. And the cool thing about all of these too, if you have the printable version, you can make as many as you want and make a huge garden or a little hedge maze. These simple hedges we're just going to fold in half. You can even fold it different lengths depending on what kind of style or where you want it to turn. And next we're going to work on our potted plants. So this is another thing that we can put our flowers in that we're going to go over. The cutting out of these, I do want you to be kind of careful with, because the angle at the very bottom edge is important. So you'll notice that it's very slightly angled, and that's going to help it stand up and stay standing straight. So next, we're just going to cut along that dotted line. Again, recommended with the craft knife, but feel free to use the scissors if you need to. Just don't go all the way to that edge. You want there to be a little space to keep the backing, because that's going to hold your plants. Now I'm just folding the little plant stand, and as you can see, it'll stand on its own. Super cute. Now I'm going to cut super quick one of our little flowers. And we have a lot of flower options. This is one of the options that comes with this pack, but all of the Tea Party picnic packs come with flowers that will also work with these. You might just need to kind of bend it back to make sure that it sits nicely. And there you have your little potted plant. And here I'm going to show you, we can also take our flower and place it in any of our little garden beds, so we can really customize our experience and make sure that it looks exactly how we want it. And again, those flowers can come from the Sarah and Jane guest dolls or any of our other dolls. Okay, so next we're going to work on the garden arch. It's going to be this piece, and this does also come with a bonus dress that fits the adult size paper dolls we have. For example, the Edwardian Tea Party dolls. So that beautiful white gown will fit them and look perfect in your tea party. So just having cut out the arch, we're going to take that and these pieces here, those are going to become the stands. And we're going to take these and pre-fold them again. I tried to keep the instructions as consistent as possible so you're using a lot of the same skills. So just folding along that line with whichever method you like. Folding back and forward, creasing, nice. And then again, you guessed it, we're going to take that and we're going to glue the tabs to the corresponding sides. So putting glue on our tab, gluing tab G to side G. I'm lining it up. And they're kind of like puzzle pieces, so you can really tell if you've got the right piece. There we go. More glue for tab H to side H, smoothing it out, pressing it down, make sure we have a great seal. Again, give it time to dry if you have a different glue. And then we use that to stand it up, and we've got a garden arch. Now with this perspective, it looks kind of huge. I promise in the real version, it's the perfect size for your doll and looks really good in your garden. But here you go. And you can adjust the angle of the stands to kind of show more of the rock wall around it. You can use those hedges and those gate pieces to create all sorts of scenes. I really wanted it to be very fun and customizable. And the great thing about these pieces is it also expands the play area so that we don't just have to play on that grass, we can kind of extend it forward onto whatever surface we're playing on. And here you have it with the dolls from the Edwardian Tea Pack. The dolls are not included in this one, but we have tons of dolls that will work for this. You have our children dolls. There she is. I've got a table from our Tea Party furniture pack. Garden tables and chairs. A beautiful little vase. And you can kind of see how all of these pieces can come together and give you more customization options. So the more packs you purchase in the Tea Party Picnic series, really the more options you'll have. So here's again just how your garden could look, how you can customize with different flowers. A brief look at how simple the instructions are, just 2 pages of instructions for all of that. Gorgeous other products. Here's an example of one of the children from the Tea Party pack. Sarah and Jane, Olivia and Clara, and some of the Edwardian furniture. Here it is all set up. And just for fun, some of the hats from the Edwardian tea pack. And then, of course, if you're interested in getting your own dolls and play sets, please visit our Etsy. We are a small business. It's really just me, the artist, researcher, etc. Woman-owned, hand-drawn. We don't use any AI in our image generation or creation or even in our research. Educational. I do extensive research with museum collections and periodicals to make sure that we do historical design so you get the most out of the artwork. And we are made in the USA. So please let me know how things went. I hope you had a wonderful crafting time. If you have any questions about the tutorial and how to put things together, please leave comments below, and I'll love to answer those questions for you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.